Guys, just before I actually share with you, I guess the finale for the evening, which is really how to evoke emotion, I want to show you a handful of shots that I've been doing recently, and perhaps just give you some, fresh inspiration to take it that next particular shoot. I walked into her into the room, and I saw her getting ready in front of this mirror, and my mind said, I can't take a shot with me in the actual frame. And I said, well, why not? I'm part of the day, so there I was shooting. I even grabbed Melissa to be in the shot and also the filmmaker, and there's the shot. Something a little bit different. And then one of the funniest shots that came out of the day was this particular spot and location. Have a look at this one. Isn't that crazy? Absolutely crazy. So you could be at this cheesy location, for example, and then decide, you know what, I want to pretend like I'm getting married, pay $25 and pose near this car. The funny thing was that it probably was $20, but it was too cheap, so that actually made it $25. This is the quintessential Vegas shot. I love this. Welcome, pool, coffee. Oh my God, no one else has coffee. Major credit cards. Well, of course, everyone has minor credit cards. Family, room, cable TV, you name it, all that kind of stuff. So I thought that was pretty fun. Then Elvis married them, which was fun. And I thought, well, with my famous bounce flash technique, if I shoot with the flash bounce back on them, if I go a bit closer, perhaps I might see them. Isn't that fun? I was bounced, so basically here's Elvis. Here I am, and my flash was bounced this way where the couple were. Bounce, bounce. Yeah. Yep. Then came my favorite shot of the whole day, and that was this one. So, I mean, I'm telling a story that wasn't exactly true, but I thought, you're getting married in Vegas. When you think of a Vegas wedding, you think of shotgun wedding. No one's around, they're nervous, they're not looking at each other, they're looking straight ahead. There's no one to be seen. I've made it 70s looking, by the way, I've desaturated it, for example, and all of a sudden, there it is. So, it's just a fun little approach to my work there, which I think is really cool. Well, it wasn't like the strip, it was just off the strip, and I just waited in the median strip, and then the cars went by. I said, hey guys, stop there, keep on walking, and then sort of got that photograph. So guys, before I show you some other new work, I actually want to show you a handful of shots that I've taken over the years. I know a couple of you, if you've seen me before, you might have recognized some of these shots. But for the benefit of most of you who haven't seen me, I thought it might be fun to show you just some examples of how to turn the ordinary into the extraordinary of some of my favorites over the years. So let me show you. Let's continue our conversation that we had sort of before the break. This particular shot, we've got sunlight coming through a skylight. I place my girl underneath, and then I find a mirror, place it in the foreground, and I get this shot. Isn't that fun? Because what I want is detail in the brightest highlight in her face. And that's how I get that shot. Then I'm photographing a wedding at the wrong time of year to get married at a vineyard because it's all dead. But I look up at the sky. It's one of those hazy days where you can hardly see. It's very bright. I squint my eyes. I see some detail there. Then I underexpose the sky by about 6 stops. And then if I do that, this will go pitch black. I'm not going to see anything. So I lower my camera angle, allowing light to filter through, and I get this image. By the haze, I couldn't see them with my own 2 eyes. So I squinted. I'm like, oh, maybe they're there. So I underexposed. I just kept on just darkening my exposure. I'm like, that looks like a freaking sunset. There it is. Here, this is the entrance of a groom's home, nothing fancy. I take my table away, I get my groom to sit down, turn the lamp on, run upstairs, shoot down, I get this image. It's all available light, yeah. Yep. I think most people would turn the chandelier on, but that would be brighter part of the image, and your eye would go there. Then this one, I take a shot of the boys traditionally with light coming through the doorway of the house. Then I walk around them. I press the pause button, walk around. I see the reflection I'm like, if I get these guys to go to the doorway, turn these lights off, lower my camera angle, turn my white balance to tungsten, I see this. Isn't it crazy, like with a simple change of technique or perspective and lens choice, what you can get? I subtract the light first, and then I open up one by one. It could just be opening up the blind, and all of a sudden I've got my softbox. When I started in photography, you know what I used to do? Walk into a room and just use what was there. I didn't think I could turn the light off. I know it sounds so stupid easy, but I just didn't think like that. Now I manipulate everything that I can, if I have to suit my needs. You know? So I was at a workshop, and one of my students looked at this location and said, Jerry, I want you to create something really cool in this location. So I thought, okay, what can I use? What are the elements around me? What can I use? So I have my bride sitting on this stool and lying down on her elbows. I have a video light illuminating her and the frame. I turn these lights off, take these flowers off the table, get two guys to tilt the table towards the bride, put my lens on the actual piece of glass, and I get this image. I said, you know how I said? Bring my lens as close to the reflective surface as humanly possible, more vivid the reflection. And that's how I got that. Now you might say, how the hell did I even think of that? Because I was searching for it. I was looking at my elements around me, and I said to myself, what would MacGyver do if he was a photographer? And although I say it as a joke, I'm serious. When I was growing up, just in photography, and as a hobbyist, I got my first camera at the age of 15. MacGyver was the TV show, right? Who was obsessed with MacGyver growing up? We all were, right? Oh my God, how would he make a bomb out of things in the refrigerator? He was just really cool. Obviously, it was fictitious, but honestly, when I started photography, I would say, I wonder what MacGyver would do if he was a photographer. It makes you think differently. In other words, the next time you do a shoot and you walk into a room, if I said to you, I want you to pretend like you're the best photographer in the world, what would you do? What would the mindset of an experienced photographer do? Would they look for the best location first? Lighting number one. Then what would they do? They'd pick probably a complementary location. Then they'd think of something to do, a pose, a concept, or an action. Then they would nail their exposure, work out the lens, compression, composition. And bang, never forget the expression. There's 5 steps to a powerful photograph. What a coincidence, we did it today. Think about it. What we're doing here, guys, if I saw that in my camera, if I look at that darkness, that skin tone, that light, the camera's freaking out, it's like, oh my God, it's really dark. It'll overexpose, therefore I have to under. Again, I'm not underexposing, I'm underexposing what the camera is saying, but I have to lean towards the minus. I go to another groom's home and I see memorabilia on the wall. There's basically a Scarface and a poster on the wall. Scarface, Godfather. He was obsessed with all things gangster. So I take the picture off the wall and I think he would really appreciate this. I illuminate him with a video light. I focus on the reflection. I get this. That was his favorite shot of the whole day. Who cares about the bride, right? Don't worry about her. Then normally what I do, guys, after the church and before the reception, I get the limo driver to follow me. I say, if I stop, you stop. Because I'm looking for light. As I'm driving, I don't care where I'm driving. I just look for light. I could be anywhere. It could be the Bronx. It doesn't matter. Much to the bride's horror, I see this location. But I see that red. And then the sunlight's coming up 12 o'clock. What do? I think of a pose that forces her face upwards. I get this shot. It's bright sunlight. No, there's no tricks there. Bright sunlight. Then, before they drive off, I'm thinking, wait a second, let me use that sun. Let me get the sun to bounce off the reflector back on them. I create that short side, 3-dimensional quality of light. Bit of an angle on the picture to make it more interesting. Then I take one more picture. There's my spread of the wedding album, so to speak, right? Left and right. Then a reflector, pretty basic. The reflector, the sunlight hits the reflector back on him, and I get a nice glow of light. The sunlight is giving him a bit of a rim, outlining him in the background. Pretty basic, nothing fancy. But let me show you something that's not so obvious. I looked at his hat, and it was white. I'm thinking, wait a second, that's like a little mini reflector. I need to give him an excuse to bring the hat up to his face. Otherwise, he's just reflecting the hat off his face. So maybe he's putting the hat on. So I put it up to his face. I lower my camera angle. I shoot up to get rid of all this distraction. Crop nice and close. I get a rim light. I get a reflected light on his face. And there it is. Okay, most of us, in fact, who is scared of the sunlight? Admit it. When it's sunny, you run the opposite way. Put your hand up. The first step overcoming the problem is admitting it. Guys, embrace it. You might say, how would I shoot in the sun? Because the sun's way up high. Give your couples an excuse to bring their face up like I showed you before. Use it. If they can't see because they're doing this, they're squinting, they're looking in the sun like this, I get my couples to close their eyes. I go, relax your forehead. I want you to look at the top of that tree that you saw before. Ready? On the count of 3, open up your eyes. 1, 2, 3. Click. All I need is a fraction of a second, right? That's all I need is a fraction of a second. And I get the shot. But think of reasons why their faces are up. Why? Give them poses that they can handle in the sunlight, looking down, looking away, kissing, and so on and so forth. With this shot, I grabbed them in the open shade, but then I thought, let me bring the bride in the sun with the actual parasol umbrella, and I get this image. Isn't that crazy? It's just a shadow. It looks like a tattoo or something like that, you know? You know what I love? I love hearing the word wow come from you guys, because that's the theme of our How to Wow, right? That's the theme of today. But trust me, guys, you know what we're doing right now? We're exercising our eyes, our vision. The next time you see a parasol umbrella, what are you going to think of? The next time you see a beveled mirror, what are you going to think of? The next time you only have a window, what are you going to think of? The next time you have a reflector that happened to have a hole in it, what are you going to think of? Do you know what I'm trying to say? Let me show you, in fact, exactly how a little bit of exercise goes a long way. Everybody, stand up. Okay, all right. So what I want you guys to do is have your feet at shoulder length distance. Okay, do not move your feet from this particular angle and position that you are at now. Okay, you cool with that? Now what I want you to do is I want you to mirror me. Move your hips left, your shoulders extreme left, your face extreme left. You'll not be able to see me right now. Turn your face, your eyeballs as far left as humanly possible. Okay. Try to remember what you see in your extreme left vision. It could be someone's hair, someone's hat, someone's chair, a doorway, something. Remember what you see in your extreme left vision. You remember it? Now come back now. Everyone, let's exercise, shall we? All right, hands up in the air like this. Oh, did you hear that? Oh, okay, bring that right back, as far back as you can go. Hold it there. All right, now what I want you to do is I want you to bring your elbows back. And I want you to see if you can touch your elbows together. If you can do that, I want to marry you and make love to you. That's all I'm saying. You would be awesome. Okay, like that. All right, now, hands up like this. All right, do that for me. Stretch it right out. All right, do this way. Put your hands in the pocket of the person next to you. Take out some money and give it to charity. All right, all right. Okay, come back here again. Get all limber. Okay. So now just hump around a little bit, hump around, hump around. All right, get all limber, relax. Hand like this. All right, another one. All right, now come back. Do the exact same thing that you did before. I want you to move your hips extreme left, your shoulders extreme left, your neck's extreme left, your eyeballs extreme left. Do you see more? Isn't that crazy? All right, take a seat. That tells me 2 things. Number 1, you are incredibly unfit. Number 2, just with some physical exercise, I've got you to see more. Physical exercise, you are starting to see more. What are we doing with our vision today, with photography and talking about it and sharing some ideas? We're expanding your vision. You will start to see things arguably that you've never seen before. That is my job as a teacher. I'm just trying to say is be open-minded. Look at things a certain way. The biggest killer of creativity, you know what it is? You go too fast. That's true. Slow down. You walk into a room and you're like, What's this energy? Like, just be the Fonz. Who does not know what I just said? You are too young and I'm getting old. The Fonz is, Happy Days, the Fonz. Yeah, there we go. Be cool, man. Be cool. Just be cool. Remember at our workshop, how many times, Jan, did I say at our workshop, just slow down? Slow down. Slow down. That should be in your mindset. Slow down. Take your time. Slow down. Take less shots, do them better. Okay? I know it's tough, but get in your mindset. Change your mindset. Just walk in and repeat those words in your mind. If you said to me, Jerry, I can give you 1,000 mediocre shots of your wedding or one wow shot. Come on. That's it. Guys, let me show you something from Paris. Have a look. So throw it behind you, darling. On the count of 3, throw it behind you and look at it as it travels in the air. Ready? 1, 2, go for it! We're selling umbrellas at the back there. Love that. Guys, keep on going. I'm almost there.
That's real.
I'm actually selling remote control birds as well. All right, guys. Sometimes you have happy accidents as well, but like I said, try to find the strength in the weakness. When it's raining, many of us run for undercover. I'm like, wait a second, what happens if we get the bride in the back seat? Then I get my assistant to block out the extra reflection of the overcast sky behind me. I shoot through that reflection, and then what I get is, if you can look at my arm here, do you see my arm represents the back windshield, and then my hand represents the bride's face? I focus on the water droplets above the bride's face. This part of the glass goes out of focus this way. This part of the glass goes out of focus this way, and then I get an in-camera tilt-shift lens effect. Isn't that fun? Do you want to know what photojournalism looks like? I didn't pose this. I walked into the bride's bedroom and she was doing her dress up like that. Not posed at all. That's why I don't like to wait for the magic, because you might think that's okay, let them take a photograph, but I asked the bride, do you mind if we do that dress up again? Just turn your body, arch your back, lean forward. Hey girls, who do you want to be? Guys, who do you want to marry? This image, this was a before shot. This is actually a behind the scenes shot at a workshop again. And I had my couple in the background. It was overcast, it was getting dark. And the ice light can't overpower the sun. Only speed lights really or flashes can do that. But I get the actual ice light close enough in an overcast area. And I love that voyeuristic view, which I think is really sexy. I got this shot. Isn't that fun? How many times do you get approached with this kind of scene? It's a sofa next to a window, right? Every single weekend, right? Why not just play with it? Play with the depth of the sofa. Have some fun. Bring the sofa out to the window and take a different shot of the girls. Practice, guys. It's just practice. People think I was born with a golden eye. Man, I suck just like everybody else. I've got to tell you, I look back at my work from 15, 16 years ago, man, I was horrific. I thought it was okay back then, but I had exposed crotch shots of the groom doing this. You name it. I cut off fingers, I did off all those things, and it was okay for its time, but now I believe I'm more sophisticated now in the sense that I look at those little nuances, which makes a difference between good and great, don't you think? This was actually in Sweden right here. And there was no light. There was hardly any light at all. I turned the girl's face right to the actual glass. I get my macro lens. I do this shot. I love the fact that we've got her eyeball and her lips perfectly focused on the same plane. Isn't that beautiful? Then I had a wedding where the saxophone player came out and the bride and groom were going crazy over the saxophone player. And I thought, you know how everyone does a backlit shot with flash these days, right? Thought, why not do it differently and have the saxophone player in the shot? Because they had an affinity for his music. And then as I walked outside to the crisp country air, bugs and dust particles were hitting my face. You know, when you feel that? I thought, if I actually backlight him with flash, they'll look like stars. I'm actually selling a jar of bugs and dust particles right here today. They're actually dead. They're from Australia, so you've got to open up and just throw them and then take a quick shot. Here I am in London, and I see the Tower Bridge. I look at the sky. It's quite dramatic. I want something more dramatic. What do? I underexpose the sky. I lay down at the foot of the puddle. I grab one speed light on her, TTL. I get this image. One speed light, off-camera flash, guys. Nothing fancy. Just I underexpose the sky. I get the exposure that I want first, and then I add the flash. Here I am in Rodeo Drive in Bulgari, and one of my students is very excited to hold the ice light. He stands in the doorway. I get this image. That's using existing ambient light, and then the light's illuminating actually Devon with another model. That's actually behind there with the ice light. Okay, so here I am in Greece. There's off-camera flash going down here. Nothing fancy, guys. This is a pretty boring photograph. But then this cute little street vendor, this little boy, walked up the beach playing the accordion, and all the Greeks wanted to push him away, saying, "Get out of the photograph." I said, "No, bring him back in." I said, "Here's 20 euros. Stay there and play." He didn't sound too good, but that wasn't the point. What the point was, the sun came out, and this is what happened. I'm actually selling that little boy as well. Okay, so there I am photographing this, this engagement session on this skyscraper in New York, and it was getting dark. I didn't know what to do because I didn't have any tripod, and I couldn't really hold that exposure to keep everything perfectly sharp in the background. So I thought, let's not even try. Let me just glorify it. Let me not make it look like a mistake, but glorify it so it's done on purpose. In other words, let me shoot at a half a second or a quarter of a second exposure, have my off-camera flash zoomed at 200 mil so I get a tunnel of light. I get the iPhone out so I could focus, which was pitch black, turn it off, I focus on my couple, and I click. So can you imagine that? The flash goes off, and I click. So if you were the couple here, for example, I'd focus on you guys, and then I went off frame a little bit, and I just went click. Of course, why they're perfectly sharp? Because the flash freezes the motion. There's no ambience on them. I could have flashed them, and they could have been doing this during the exposure. I'm not going to see anything. And then I got my exposure right for this first. So even handheld a quarter of a second, I did it. It was all blurry. It doesn't matter. So I'm like, if I just make it one beautiful motion, I'm going to get that ambience and have that as well. If you want to practice this, go to a place where there's ambience in the background and it's pitch black with no ambience in the foreground and practice. Guys, how many times have I said the word practice today? I never said there's any shortcuts. There are no shortcuts to longevity. There are no shortcuts to excellence. I'm sorry, but if you've been to some seminars will tell you that you can get a shortcut and you can do this. Well, yes, there's some ways you can learn quicker, but I'm telling you guys, if you want longevity in this industry, you are going to practice these techniques until you bleed. I don't just use speed lights. I use everything. I don't really care what I use. I use natural light, I use sunlight, I use diffuser, I use window light, ice light, reflectors, whatever I need to do it. So there's nothing that I really favor. Well, if I favored something, it would be natural light. I would go with what God gave us. With everything else, if I couldn't overpower the sun, let's say, with a speed light, would I use the Pro Photo? Absolutely. The B1 now, that changes the game for me. I could use 2 speed lights. I could use 3 or 4 of them if I want to. But the B1, that changes the game. I could really darken the sky, get some drama in and go bang and do something incredible, which I can't wait to. I'll be honest, I have never used the B1s. And because I was excited, I saw them about a few weeks before the tour, and I rang up Pro Photo. I said, or the guys organising the tour, I said, we've got to get Pro Photo on board. I've got to play B1s because I can't believe there's actually a flash head now with a battery built in, and now you can shoot TTL. For God's sake, that's incredible. That's a game changer. I said, bring them on. Now I've been playing, and I'm dying to actually find an open field of sunflowers as we're driving and get the guys all dressed up. So we're trying to earmark one of these days to just do that. And we can't wait to play, but that's a game changer. Yes, I will do that, absolutely. So guys, do you feel more confident in how to turn the ordinary into the extraordinary? Do you feel maybe a bit more confidence that you guys can do it as well? How to wow what we are actually doing? I wish you, like I said, the same perspective and clarity to be able to look at your environment and play and practice. You know what I did, guys? Way back when, I had to do this with film. It cost me a lot of money, and I couldn't see the result until it came back. Part of the charm of it, I guess. Now we see the result in the back of the camera. We can change the ISO on every single image. We can under and overexpose by 2 stops and still fix it. And now we still are lazy, for God's sake. Do you see what I'm trying to say? Unfortunately, this stupid device, which I love and hate it, this device has made us lazy. Because how many things can things do? This device or the Android version or whatever, these devices have made us lazy because we can get everything now. And if we don't get things now, we dismiss it as irrelevant or just a waste of our time. You will spend a lifetime trying to perfect this art. You will never be perfect, but it's fun trying. I don't know about you, but it's like playing tennis with a kid. If you always win and you can't play, it's just no fun. Play with someone, like I said earlier today, someone better. Now we're talking. Now it's fun, man. Like, it's fun to chase. We have an apartment now on the rooftop of a building, and we have an outdoor shooting space in the bright Californian sun. So now I want to show you a handful of shots that I've done a little while ago. A lot of these are brand new, so I hope you enjoy them. This is actually Lisa with her boyfriend. This is full sunlight, no diffuser, no flash, no nothing, just full sunlight on a white background. Why I love shooting with full sunlight on a background? Quite simply, there's no forgiveness. You have to create. It's very difficult to really do a beautiful shot in a white background with full sun if you don't know what you're doing. Now, this is obviously very raw. It's very sexy, right? So the shadows defining shape underneath her bust and his arms and legs and things like that. Very, very important. This is Devon. Chin up a little bit, cheekbones, jawline, the softness of the arm. Does that hand look familiar to you today? Does that curve look familiar to you? This is with her and another model, for example. And then recently, guys, I photographed this image. I took this shot of this girl, and then I'm like, I take the second shot. I see this sort of image evolving, this story evolving, and I thought, how cool would it be to take a series of shots like that and present it to the client like this? Isn't that fun? Now, guys, I'm not the first guy to do a collage on a white background, but for me, it happened again organically. It evolved that way. So now it has created for me a whole new genre of shooting. I call it an evolved portrait. So I'm like, I want to do an evolved portrait today, for example. So I pick a story, pick something fun, and I just have fun with it. I'll show you a few more, but before I do, this shot, for example, was taken with the sunlight hitting the reflector back on him. This image, this is using the Westcott Scrim Gym. If you want a really big diffuser, guys, the Scrim Gym is awesome because you can modify it quickly, make it bigger, smaller, and it's a great little thing. And you can put them on light stands, and that gives me this beautiful quality of soft light there like that. Let's say, for example, you want to do a shoot in your garage, for example, and the sunlight's coming through. Put this on the wall of the garage, and you just have this gorgeous, soft, beautiful light coming through. This one, it's a different kind of evolved portrait, as I call it. I love that one. Isn't that fun? How expressive are those hands? And then I grabbed her in the lounge room, and these next series of shots were all taken with window light. What do we say? Side lighting increases texture. Turn the body away from the light, turn the face back in. This was done just on our sofa. That shot was inspired by Cry Baby, Johnny Depp. Remember that? Remember that years ago? All it's missing is a little teardrop, isn't it? Often what I do, guys, I get inspired by things and I totally forget where the inspiration came from. I take the shot and I think, oh my God, that was that. Then I thought, how cool would it be for this couple to do an evolved portrait where I looked at her, she was covered with tattoos. But how cool would it be to do something that's maybe represents what the independent woman was of the 60s and maybe who she is today. Or maybe just a metaphor of you can't but judge a book by its cover. So there I am. This is the outdoor studio, as I call it, the shooting space. And then I took that first shot and then I ended up with this. There she is. You have no idea what she looks like or what she is underneath. She shows you the tattoo, and then it evolves. She takes her wig off, and that's in fact who she is. And then I thought, wouldn't it be fun to actually do a portrait, maybe a metaphor of a girl dreaming about her perfect man and rolling back to sleep? It was a really interesting comment from a student the other day. And they said, Jerry, so what's the relevance of them being naked? I'm like, why not? It's a stylistic choice. People come to me for a sexy, stylized portrait. And why I love the nude form, there's no date. The minute you add fashion to an image, it's dated. I'm not saying every friggin' person's going to end up naked, although most people do. I don't know what it is. But I just think it's beautiful. I don't see some people see the nude form as vulgar, as like, oh my God, it's nude. Oh, it's rude. Come on, we all have that in common, right? Beautiful. It's beautiful. I love the female body. I love even the male body. Herb Ritts was the only photographer that made me look at a guy as beautiful. Mapplethorpe, have you seen Mapplethorpe's work? That was a little bit risque and almost a bit vulgar for me. But somehow, Herb Ritts, he was actually gay as well, he just made the male form look beautiful, but not in that sort of that way that I deemed as vulgar, for example. Does that make any sense? So, he just made me appreciate it as architecture. Simple sunlight, nothing else but sunlight here. How important are those shadows, the cheekbones, beautiful jawline? That's using the scrim gym, that softness coming from the top. I just love it. Honestly, I'm in my happy place. Give me in front of my camera, that white background, full sun, let's play. It's just fun, man. Guys, really excited to tell you that I'm on the verge of self-publishing a book. This is me photographing the front cover of my self-published book. The book is basically going to be a book of my favorite work over the years, set against the backdrop of my philosophy on life, love, and photography. The book is called Darling, and you may have heard today how many times I say that word. I call most girls darling, I call most guys mate, and I just thought darling sounds sexier than mate. And that's why I've called it Darling. And I want to show you the front cover. Only the handful of audiences that have seen me so far know what the cover looks like, and this is it. So that's the front cover, and then you flip it, and that's the back cover. Yeah, isn't that fun? I just thought, I was just thinking, what haven't I seen before? Wouldn't it be fun to turn around and see the reverse pose? So I know it's just fun, man. You just play. All right, guys, I want to finish off now and talk about how to evoke emotion. Guys, this is an important part. Now, this shot will show you the epitome of the 5 steps. On her right side and cuddle her from behind. So, now, let's say, where are we here? Can I have best man just here?
Yes, I'm an Aussie.
Can I, over here, mate, just on this side? Ali, turn this way and just shuffle your feet in, and that's it.
Do
and now turn your faces into each other this way.
That looks like a bite. Ali, have you been nibbling your...
New wife.
It's biting her already.
Hey, gorgeous, I want you to come in here, come really close and cuddle up to the bride. Cuddle up to her.
She's amazing.
I should bring your hand just here. That's perfect. I'm going to have to maneuver you last minute to get you out of the flower there. And over here, mate, so a bit closer. And...
Get in there.
That's it. Just,
It's fine.
I want you looking here, you looking there, you guys looking at each other,
Again.
you guys looking into each other, you looking over here,
Winky.
you snuggling in, foreheads touching. Okay, you looking over there, and you looking over there. In that position that in that position that I gave you, I need you giggling, I need you laughing, having fun. On the count of 3. All right, now, important, everyone, please look at the place where I told you. Do not look at me. Bit of giggling, bit of fun. Q, I want to see you, mate. I want to see you, Q, leaning this way. Yeah, that's it, that's it. And don't look at me. How many times did I say, don't look at me? If one person looked at my camera, that was it. It would have been done. But it looks like I happen to have flamboyant bridal parties, that I happen to be there with beautiful light, great location, and I was there. I literally told every person to do what they're doing because, you know what, I couldn't be bothered just waiting for that moment. Let me just get it happening and we're done. You know what I'm trying to say? Sometimes all you got to do is ask. You know what? No matter how old you are, you still want to look cool. This guy's in his 60s, but how cool does he look? Have a look. That's it. Actually make the noise. I want to hear the sound a little bit. There you go. That last little finesse, that last little direction that you give people, guys, means all the difference. That's where the soul comes out of the image. That's where a bride looks on a computer screen, on a website, and looks at that and says, I don't know, there's just some spirit that Jerry's able to capture, or you guys, or whatever the shot may be. How about a shot that not only shows you what people look like, but who they are? Have a look. A bit of a snuggle with mum.
That's it.
A little twinkle of the noses there.
That's it. That's it.
And a cute little shot with the bride and her parents, or something just rather than looking in the camera smile. Do I do a shot of the bride and the parents looking in the camera smiling? Absolutely. But this one tells me more about who these people are, don't you think? This next image, beautiful backlight, beautiful backlight. The sun was reflecting off the church back on them. I've got beautiful architecture. Lighting was beautiful. Location was nice. It's the trees. There's my concept, a snuggling, close, intimate portrait. Then I get my exposure. Now I nail the expression. Now, guys, in that position, both close your eyes. Same position exactly. Close your eyes. I know this sounds weird, but close your eyes again. And hear my words here. I want you to just tell each other that you love each other just by the way your faces are touching there. Hug each other with your faces there. Really, so that's beautiful. That's gorgeous. You see the way her shoulder went up and the softness. You can see the emotion in their faces. They've got the eyes closed, for goodness sake. Unless you don't. I'm just. So no sooner than I actually made them all soft and romantic, I made them laugh, and there's my spread for the wedding album. I took 2 shots. Not 100, not 50, 2 shots. The difference between a pose and a moment is this. This is a pose. Triangular composition, look at the camera. I did that shot. Then got them interacting, made them laugh, and that was a shot that I was originally going for. Kind of reminds me of a dream that I once had. There were these 5 girls in robes on a bed. This next shot. Guys, I like to play games with my couples. I like to have some fun with them. In fact, is there any couples in the audience that have not seen me before, or this kind of a segment before from me? Is there a couple in the audience, an actual couple, who have not seen me and not seen this particular segment? All right, guys. So I want you to come out over here nice and close so the light hits you. So we're going to have we're going to have a bit of fun here, a little bit of a game. So here's the actual game. Now, on the count of 3, you have to do everything in your power to kiss her on the lips. She has to do everything in her power to avoid the kiss. Okay? So I want you to cuddle up with each other first. And are you married couple?
Married. Yeah.
Married, how long for?
2 years.
Beautiful, very good, very
We've
nice.
been together for 14. So.
What?
15.
You've been together for 15 years?
Yeah.
You're a pedophile. What the hell's going on? How long? Well, it took you long enough to put a ring on it, but now you have. It's good. It's a beautiful thing. You don't leave her on the shelf too long, man. Look at her. All right. We're going to have some fun. You know what you're going to do? On the count of 3, kiss on the lips. You have to avoid the kiss. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Go for it. That was pretty easy. All right. Now, let's see. Well, you didn't kiss on the lips. No, keep on going, man. Keep on going. On the lips, on the lips, on the lips. On the lips. All right. That was beautiful. How many photographs do you take right now? All right. Now, do everything in your power to kiss him on the lips. Everything in your power, mate, to avoid the kiss. Ready? Go for it. Yeah, we did this just 2 days ago. You know what happened? This is the funniest thing. The guy, big tall guy, just grabbed her face and just did this. Well, that didn't work, did it? Unbelievable. But you see the results. How many shots did you take right now in your head? This next image, in fact, I won't get you guys to do it, but I want you to stay handy. Is that okay? If you could just stay off the actual screen, I want to get you in and out for a couple of shots. Is that cool with you guys? All right. This next shot, I actually went up to the bride without the groom knowing, and I said, I want you to whisper something dirty in the groom's ear. You've probably heard or said that yourself. The difference is that the groom doesn't know it's coming. So I say to the bride, when I set you guys up, look at me acknowledgingly, I'll nod my head, whisper something dirty in his ear. This is the result. Not the most flattering of shots, but certainly the larger-than-life expression, right? This next shot, I went up to both of them and I said, what I want you to do, I want you to squeeze her butt on the count of 3. Went up to her, squeeze his butt on the count of 3. So I gave them the exact same direction without each other knowing. This is the result. Is that fun? This next one will actually do, okay? This next one will actually do. What I'd like you to do, Bill, if you can actually give her a cuddle from behind, okay, with your face on that side. Beautiful. Okay. So pretend like you're holding your dress, like that your shirt is your dress. Yep.
Okay.
Okay. So what I want you to do, I want you now, on the count of 3, I want you to dance on him.
Okay.
You stay put. Okay. But look, a little slow salsa dance. Like, don't look at me because that'd be creepy.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
So turn your face into his, face into hers. Okay, nice and slow. I mean, dance on him until you make him happy, if you know what I mean. All right, go for it. No. Here, let me show you how you do it. No, I'm joking. So do it again. No, do it again. Come on, do it again. Nice and slow. Look at him, look at your man. There we go. And I mean, already, even though they're having fun and giggling, but you see the shot that we get, right? Now, stay there. Bring your faces together. Turn your faces that way. What I want you to do, this is going to feel weird and feel a bit stupid, but trust me, it'll look amazing. I want you to pretend your faces are 2 cats purring on each other. Now, hear me out. You know when a cat walks up and rubs its body on your leg and it starts purring and it rubs its face left and right and moving all around? Close your eyes. Pretend your faces are the cats. All right? Now rub your faces together. Go for it. How cute is that? Look at them. They're having a great time. But how beautiful is that? It's such a simple little game. I'm telling you, these kinds of games I do all the time on a wedding and they always work. Sometimes they don't, but it may be the wrong time or the wrong place or the wrong couple. You know what I mean? The difference, like I said, guys, is you have to actually make someone feel sexy appropriately rather than just say, be sexy. Let me explain. Like if I wanted a couple to kiss romantically, or I wanted a voyeuristic look with the bride peering at the camera, would I just say, hey, look voyeuristically, just peering at the camera? Or let me picture my hands as the bride's face and the groom's face, okay? So this is me, the photographer, giving the direction to the bride and groom. I say to the bride, I want you to tease the groom with your lips. I say to the groom, you can't kiss her, she's in control. So I say to the bride, I want you to lean forward. I want you to brush your tongue on his top lip. I want you to breathe in, breathe out, so his lips are tickled by the breath that's coming through your lips. He can't wait any longer. He leans forward. She leans back with a wry smile, knowing her power. Then she turns around on the other side. She leans forward. I ask her to brush her tongue on his top lip. He is freaking out right now. I then asked her on the count of 3 to subtly look at me. This is the look that she gives me. I ask her to lean forward again. Then I say to the groom, I want you to kiss the bride on the count of 3 like you've never kissed her before. What would that kiss look like? A bit better than maybe just saying to a bride and groom, go for a kiss. Do I say go for a kiss? Yes. But there's sometimes I'll do it the way I just told you, and I'm telling you, you will get a shot that's a lot better than what you normally get. If you guys can stay handy, I'll be with you in a second. This next shot, this is of parents with the bride, and what's missing with this photograph is the mum looking into nowhere. She's looking into nowhere. Then I give them the following direction. Have a look. And snuggle your face right into hers there. And guys, what I want you to do in that position without talking, I want you to just say that you love each other without talking. Just with your hug and your embrace, just do that for me. How beautiful is that moment? Guys, over the years, I worked out that I could have fun and make people laugh and laugh together with my couples, but it just took one fraction of a second in my career, image, to change the destiny of my whole career. And please excuse me if you've heard this before, but for most of you who haven't, this is really, really important. The bride said to me, he said, Jerry, I want a shot showing off my relationship with my father. And I'm like, how do I do that? I don't know, like, look at the camera, smile with your father? Like, what do you mean? So I thought maybe I can just remind them of the importance of the occasion. So I escort the dad standing here next to a mirror. The bride is standing in front of him. They have not seen each other as first time as a bride, first time as a bride to dad. Then I said to the bride, I held her hand and I said, are you ready to see your father for the last time as a single girl? She turned around, I focused on the reflection, what I get. Then I thought, man, this is powerful. My next wedding, I thought, let me just try it a bit differently. I saw that the bride was very close with her father, as most girls are, and I say to the bride, although from today onwards your father will be the second man in your life, he's always been the first, no one can take this away from you. You'll always be daddy's little girl. This is what happened. Fathers in this room, what would you not do to have a photo like this of your daughter on her wedding day? Daughters in this room, what would you not do to have a photo like this with your father on your wedding day? How beautiful is that? This photograph turned into one of the most beautiful, simple family shots I've ever taken. So simple, but so beautiful. The next bride, I asked her to walk into the actual room where everyone was waiting for her to see her as a bride, and I said, only have eyes for your father. This is his reaction, which turned into this one. Dad's wiping his tears. Mum is just soaking in that moment, and look how endearing she is. So guys, this next particular example I'm going to do, this is not a joke. This is meant to be very, very sincere. So please, if you can remain quiet for a moment. I'm going to get you guys, if you don't mind, just go for a cute little hug for me. Just a little hug. Okay, nice hug, perfect. And I could ask that hug, wouldn't I, on a wedding day? So guys, can I ask you something now? You've been together. How old are you guys, by the way? 32. So you've been together half your lives together. Like you knew you wanted to be together, like literally half your life ago. Yeah. Pretty incredible. Finally, you got married. You were absolutely certain that you wanted to be together, and now this is the person for you. And here you are standing before us today as a couple. What I want you to do is look into the eyes of your soulmate. And now, guys, what I want you to do, with all sincerity, with all respect, I want you to look at each other, and I want you to hug each other like it's the last time you're going to do so. Do you feel that energy? That's just probably one of the most beautiful embraces that I've seen for an extremely long time. Yeah. Now, guys, About 3-4 years ago, I toured with Sandy Putsch, and we did this over 33 cities, ironically, in this same sort of way. And you know what happened? Out of 33 cities and 33 couples, 31 hugged like that, were either bawling or holding back the tears, consoling each other, and the energy was incredible. How many photos did you take in your mind right now of that hug? It was beautiful, wasn't it? Now, one member of the audience, in fact, an elderly woman, of those times that I did this a few years ago, said to me, Jerry, that was a bit manipulative. I feel a bit uncomfortable that you said that.
Yeah, I feel that.
You feel uncomfortable? Bear with me. Hang in there for a few moments. Patience is a virtue, okay? So this elderly woman said in the audience, I feel uncomfortable that you said that. That was very manipulative, and that's just a bit weird. I just feel uncomfortable with that. And I said to her, I'm sorry you feel that way. I'm sorry you feel that way. But do you know when it's the last time you're going to hug anyone? Have you ever lost someone unexpectedly? Who here has lost someone unexpectedly? You didn't know. They passed some way, like an accident or something. I'm sorry for your loss. It's happened to me many times in my life, some of my closest family members as well. It's the worst thing, isn't it? What would you not give for that last hug with that person again? And what would you not give for a photograph of it? That's pretty powerful, isn't it? Have you ever lost someone expectedly that you knew they were going to pass away, like they were dying of a disease or something like that? We all have, right? We call those moments clarity, like we have clarity with that person, because those moments, in those last times, nothing else matters. Those emails that we didn't answer don't matter anymore. That lukewarm hot chocolate doesn't matter anymore. Those 2 hours in traffic don't matter anymore. All that matters is that person in those final days. Can you imagine that clarity that we have at that time, shooting with that clarity, photographing with that clarity when the going is good and we're all happy and alive and well? All I know is, hopefully, and I'm sure this will happen, and knowing your energy and what I just saw, knowing the history that you have, that every time that you hug, from now on, this moment reminds you forever, for every time that you hug, that you will cherish and protect exactly what you have, and no one else can harm that. That was a beautiful thing, and thank you for celebrating your love between all of us. So thank you very much. Thank you. Guys, without being too personal here, you may or may not know, I was married before. I got married at the age of 20. In fact, I was married for 16 years, believe it or not. My former wife, she suffered from depression. I couldn't nurture her way out of it. I didn't know she suffered from depression before. If you know what it is or you suffer from it, I empathize with you. It's a chemical imbalance. There's just nothing you can do. There's just things and feelings that you have. Even recently, Robin Williams, took his own life. It's a serious thing. I'm a loyal person. I stayed for as long as I could. I couldn't nurture her way out of it. One day, 6 months before I left, I said, "You don't love yourself, do you?" She goes, "No." I said, "Then you have no chance of loving me. I can't do it. I'm not feeling any love from you at all." I left. It was the hardest thing I've ever had to do in my life. And I've got to tell you that you believe in God, karma, Buddha, whatever the hell you guys believe. All I believe is, within reason, you usually get what you deserve in this life. And serendipitously, what happened? Melissa, her ex broke up with her. I broke up with my ex on the exact same day on different sides of the world. There's many things that happened to bring us together, but all I know is when we got married, and from that day onwards, every time I hug her, I know exactly what I have. I hug her like it's the last time, because it could be. But you know what? I have a photo of it. How much do I cherish that? Both my parents suffered, they've actually survived cancer. My mum, double mastectomy, dad, prostate cancer. They both survived it, thankfully. But you know what? As I'm getting older myself, and my aches and pains, and I wake up and I feel like a train wreck after a wedding, whereas normally I could shoot 4 weddings in a row and not have any problem. When I grew up and I was younger, I would feel I was immortal. You know, you don't think about dying when you're 4 or you're 8 or you're 10 or you're 18, do you? And your parents are larger than life. You never think of them dying. And then now, as my parents are getting older and I'm getting older, my sense of mortality is a little bit different. But what I'm saying is I celebrate the moments that I have now. I'm happy now. I don't wait. I'll be happy when I do this, when I do that. I'm happy today and I know it. So I cherish it and I respect it and I protect it. Both my parents, unfortunately, they're permanently separated. Mum still loves Dad, and Dad's respectful, but no, he wants to keep away, so to speak. He's a Greek father, so he's always there with his cigarette. He's the funniest guy that you'll meet, but you'll never catch him laughing on camera. On our wedding day, this shot was taken. My mum still loves him. You can see that with her body language leaning into Dad. Dad is holding his ground, but being respectful, but he's smiling and laughing with his cigarette. As soon as I saw this photograph, I said to myself, this is the way I want to remember my mum and dad. Now, they're alive and well. I'm just saying is that this is the photo that I'm going to look at and I'm going to cherish. I do now, let alone perhaps, we all grow old. Inevitable happens. We're not here for a long time. We're here for a good time. I honestly believe, guys, that your style of photography is dictated by who you are as a person. So the question is, who are you? Your style of photography is dictated by who you are. Now, you can learn f-stops, shutter speeds, and exposure and all that kind of stuff, but I can't teach you how to be a good person. In fact, what I'm getting at here, guys, is that I want you to shoot with more empathy, care more. Because you photograph a bride or a client, she pays you money, you give her a portrait. But I'm photographing not a bride, I'm photographing someone's lover, someone's soulmate, someone's best friend, someone's sister, someone's granddaughter. It makes me ask a different question. It makes me photograph someone in a different way. Don't you see? The relationship that you have with people can be very different depending on how you treat them and how you see them. In fact, if I shot this bride with no empathy, how would I capture her? Who is this bride? What is she saying with her energy? I walked into this room and that was her energy. She's saying with her eyes and face, quite obviously, I'm overweight and I'm depressed. And Jerry, this is as good as I look. I'm not feeling it. Good luck. Let me show you some video footage and show you how this story evolves.
Hold them sort of around about your waist there. That's beautiful. That's gorgeous.
Fat folds all in. Sorry, Tom. Girl talk.
What she basically said, guys, if you didn't hear correctly, she says, "Are my fat folds all in my dress?" I mean, how depressing is that? I mean, I wanted to cry. All I could think of was just giggle nervously because I had no response to that. My fat folds all in my dress. This is a girl at her peak of her beauty, and that's what she said. I giggled nervously, and all I could think of was one thing, and in true Jerry style, now that you know me a little bit, this is all I could think of.
I don't know, I'm just too busy looking at your boobs, though.
Yeah, I know. That's all Rob's going to stare at.
I said, I don't know, I'm just too busy looking at your boobs. I'm sorry if that offends you, but I need to take a drastic action, say something to break that cling wrap of depression off her face. I can't even tell you what that energy was like on that day. Everyone just looked at her, didn't know what to do or say. Let's see how the story evolves.
And turn your face, and chin up. That's beautiful.
Little conductor.
The way I'm posing her is very soft, it's very nurturing. And she even called me a conductor the way I was actually posing her. It's like posing a stray cat, like one wrong move and boom. True? We're building trust. I take my time. I'm looking at her. I'm basically saying, if I just say, "Oh, what's wrong with you? You're beautiful." Come on, that's just stupid. I've got to make her feel that way. Take my time. Take my time.
I like that there. That little detail, it's beautiful.
Yeah, isn't it gorgeous?
It's very pretty.
I'm going to walk in with that
Yeah.
without the veil.
Pretty, very pretty.
I basically said, "Your shawl is beautiful." And then she said, "I'm going to walk in with that. Isn't it beautiful?" You see the way she was looking at me? She's begging to believe that I believe that she's beautiful. Do you see that? Quite obviously. And I'm like a magician. You know why? I'm saying, look at this hand. This is my empathy hand. And this hand is putting the flowers over her belly, the veil over her shoulders, moving the sofa this way so I can stand on it and shoot downwards. This is my technique hand, but this is actually me caring. This is really what's powerful. But I'm getting you to focus on this, which is the illusion, but this is what I'm doing, is I'm hiding what's happening here. I'm not going to give her permission to feel badly about herself. No way.
You got amazing lips. They're beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful.
She has amazing lips, so I told her. Now look at her glow. For God's sakes, now she's battering her eyelids at me. Do you see that? She wants me. Let's see what happens.
I don't know what to look at first. It's
Guys, if I was a photojournalist and captured history as it unfolded before my eyes and didn't meddle with history, history would remember this woman as overweight and depressed. Now, history is going to remember this woman, long after she's even gone, as a beautiful, vivacious, voluptuous, gorgeous woman. So what's the truth? That's the truth as far as I'm concerned. And what made that truth a reality was my truth in my heart, because I saw her as beautiful. 20 years ago, my version of beauty would have been something like Devon and Lisa. Barbie dolls. Now my version of beauty is how someone makes me feel, because this gets old very quick. I hit the jackpot. My wife is gorgeous, and she's gorgeous inside, but I know it. Guys, if you photograph your subject through the eyes of a loved one, you will only ever see beauty. There is no question in my mind. And like I said, you're beginning to understand who I am and what makes me tick, or what makes me click. But ultimately, I believe it's my empathy for people, my love for people is what gets me the shots that I get. My technique, I can learn that. It's just practice. I had the actual opportunity to photograph through the eyes of a groom several years ago. In fact, I photographed through my own eyes. I photographed the bride's coverage. I photographed us in a mirror, believe it or not. I believe, and inasmuch, and my wife is at the back there right now, she hears me say this in every city, and every time I say the following words, I believe them with every fiber of my being. I believe she is the most beautiful person I've ever met. Long before we got married, she makes you feel special, and she's very joyous. I had to capture that. I do believe she's a very sexy woman. I had to capture that. And I thought, you know what? There's only one time in my career that I'll ever be able to do a photo like this. Can you imagine asking a bride to hold your legs? I'm photographing here through a lover's eyes, don't you think? So now that you've seen my wife naked, men, please feel free to send me an email of your wife naked. Girls too, send me a photo of yourself naked, please. That would be fun. That's a joke, by the way. Please don't do that. That would be fun. This next photograph, I'm photographing my best friend. She is. She is, guys, hands down. And I've been married now for over 3.5 years, and my work, you know what it's looking like? It's looking more passionate, it's more emotional, it's more sexy. It's a reflection of who I am today. I knew how to make someone look and feel beautiful before, but now that I know what true love is, because someone's giving it back to me, I can express myself more through the lens of my camera. I wish you the same clarity in your lifetime. I wish you the same clarity. And guys, just so you know, to remind you, and sorry, we are 15 minutes late, but I am finishing up right now. Quite simply, guys, I've been almost on my feet for 12 hours right now. I don't know if you know that. It's been 9 o'clock in the morning we started. It's almost 9 o'clock at night. 12 hours we've been sharing ideas and information. In fact, people will tell you, hey, if you go to a seminar and you learn one thing, that's a good seminar to go to. Screw that, I've been on my feet for 12 hours. 12 hours, for God's sake, 12 hours, which means that I would have loved for you taking all the ideas that we shared. Think about it. 5 steps to a powerful photograph. We talked about Lighting, turn the body away from the light source, the face back in. We talked about all the lighting patterns and styles. We talked about what flatters the person or helps communicate the message that you're trying to convey. We talked about the 5 steps to a powerful photograph: light, location, pose, the concept, action, the exposure, expression. We covered those. We looked at window light. We looked at different crops with different composition. We looked at lamplight, ice light, flashlight, on camera, off camera, posing, hands, plus size, small size, tall, short, hands, shoulders, bust, feet, legs. I mean, you name it, we covered it. And then we culminated by showing you some recent work. We had some fun, and now we finally culminated to talk about how to shoot through the eyes of a loved one. And if you said to me, Jerry, if there was one thing, Jerry, what was the one thing that you believe is the most important thing of the entire experience today, which I would love for you to actually impart on me? If that was all I could retain, it would be the following thing. If you want to be a better photographer, it's simple. Be a better person. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you.